What's up everyone, it's Grom Gamer. Just gonna do a quick little video talking about motovlogging, kind of how I got into it, whether or not you should get into it, and some of the equipment that I recommend for motovlogging. The short answer is I do think if you're already riding, you should motovlog. I think for one, it's super fun, just recording your footage, and interesting stuff happens all the time when you're riding, whether it's interesting in a good way or interesting in a bad way, as in like somebody doing something stupid while you're riding. But I think anyone that rides could benefit from having a camera strapped to them, whether you're motovlogging or not, just to serve kind of like as a dash cam, if you will, just because so much stupid, crazy stuff happens with people not noticing us that I've seen it enough times on social media, whether it's Instagram or YouTube, that sometimes it's good to just have that on video. That way to serve as evidence if you ever need it. I mean, hopefully you never do need it, but I have seen it plenty of times that the difference between being held liable and not liable came down to someone having GoPro helmet cam footage. But if you have a camera running as you're riding, even just for your safety, and also you just so happen to like yapping and talk to the mic, or you find it fun or like a good creative outlet to post the videos and toss them up on YouTube, then it's a win-win. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I got into motovlogging. I wanted to record my videos anyways, just to have them. I record almost every time I ride, whether or not I make a YouTube video or talk to the camera or not, but I just wanted to have that footage just in case. Same like my truck, I've got a dash cam in there. But also, because I watch so much motovlogging content, I would not own this Grom if it wasn't for motovloggers that rode around on their Groms and me seeing how fun it was, and me learning about Groms just from watching other videos. Or the new bike that I just bought, I wouldn't have bought it if I didn't see a ton of videos on YouTube about it. So it's content that I already like to consume, so I'm basically just making the content that I like anyways. Cool tough guy Harley rider, no bike wave back, classic. Which is funny because that rarely happened to me when I rode my Harley, but now that I'm on this little baby Grom, I do think a lot of Harley riders don't respect me being on, one, a Japanese bike, two, a 125cc Grom. Because nowadays I hardly get a wave back from that. I get a wave back from just about everybody else. Nobody loves a good bike wave better than me. But yeah, now that I'm not on an American bike, specifically not a Harley, I do find I do get a lot less love back from the Harley riders. Hey, look, if something would have happened right there and I was motovlogging, I would have been the guy. I would have had the evidence. But yeah, I think making motovlogging content is kind of effortless because I'm already out riding, and it doesn't really change anything for me aside from me just clicking the button on my GoPro to start recording and then just talking periodically. Now I will say, talking to myself and not having anybody talking back does get a little bit uncomfortable, just because I have to bounce ideas off myself and kind of organize my thoughts without having anybody to reply to in real time to make up for the other 50% of the conversation and like fill dead space. But aside from that, I'm already wearing the helmet and I don't feel the difference with the camera on my helmet, so it's whatever. And with motovlogging, I think the amount of editing you need to do is so minimal that it's really pretty easy. And I know there's other motovloggers and there's other YouTube channels that have a way higher production value, but I just do everything myself and it takes me no time at all. Also, a lot of the equipment is just super easy to get. I got most of my equipment at Best Buy, and I don't even have the latest GoPro. I've got the GoPro Hero 12. Well, that's a lie. I do have the GoPro Hero 13. I won that literally yesterday in a raffle. I was at a fishing tournament and there was a free raffle. I had 5 tickets. I tossed all 5 tickets into the GoPro raffle thing, and I won the GoPro Hero 13. So I do have the newest GoPro. But what I'm saying is I bought the GoPro Hero 12 because it was a little bit cheaper, and I got it from Best Buy. Same thing, this mic that I have is called a lav mic, a lavalier mic. The brand that makes it is Rode, R-O-D-E. Got that from Best Buy and got that on sale. It was like $40. But basically all that does is routes the microphone from my GoPro inside my helmet. That way it's not just picking up all the outside of my helmet noise, such as wind noise or other cars, which I'm sure you guys get a little bit of that. but it routes the mic right next to my mouth inside my helmet. The GoPro Media Mod, so you can hook up the external mic. I don't remember how much that costs, but I've got the link for it in my description if anybody's curious. But yeah, you need a GoPro Media Mod, and a lav mic, and that's it. If you want to do editing on the back end, you can do back end editing with iMovie, with DaVinci Resolve, I think it's called, is free. CapCut, free. And for motovlogging, really, all I do is edit out curse words, because apparently YouTube really doesn't like that. And then I cut out dead space, such as being stuck at a red light for a long time, or, you know, if I'm just on a boring stretch of road and I'm not talking about much, I cut that out. That's it. I don't do any color grading. I don't do anything. There's like 1,000 ways to attach your GoPro to your helmet. The little sticky mounts that the GoPros come with is what I'm using right now. But also on my other helmet, I do have a chin mount from chinmounts.com, which is custom fit for my helmet, but you absolutely don't need that. On my new helmet, the stock 3M sticky mounts that comes with the GoPro, it doesn't really add up being that much. GoPros are super easy, point and shoot. I know there's better cameras out there, but it's just what I'm used to. Plus I've got a bunch of mods for my GoPro already. And it's done fine for me. I'm actually super happy with the video quality. I could shoot in higher resolution, but I've been shooting in 4K on this GoPro Hero 12, and I think it looks great. You're good. And I think it looks great. The only gripe I have about this GoPro is, and I'm sure for those of you who have seen some of my other videos, my evening rides or my night rides, it kind of sucks in low light. I think there's ways around that to an extent, but I just try to avoid going out when it's too dark, or if I am riding out at night, I try to stay in a more well-lit part of the city when feasible, but you know, sometimes just not feasible. But yeah, especially if you're watching this video already, which is, my channel's all moto vlogs basically. I'm gonna assume that you're interested in motovlog. I think if you like watching motovlogging content, you'd like creating motovlogging content even more, because it really is fun. The interactive piece, the community piece, just talking back and forth through the comments, learning a lot of new stuff about my bikes through the comments. Like, it's super satisfying, and just the little endorphin rush that I get whenever I see one of my videos is performing well, or whenever I'm getting good feedback through the comments. Before I started motovlogging, I was warned by a lot of people, and I watched YouTube videos of like pointers on how to start a YouTube channel or start motovlogging, and there's a lot of warnings of, don't worry about the haters, don't let the haters get you down, ignore the bad comments. I don't think I've received a single bad comment, or nothing that bothered me at least. It's been overwhelmingly positive, which has felt great. And you know, it's a small channel at the end of the day, but maybe as my channel grows and my YouTube videos start hitting more eyeballs, maybe that's when negativity and bad comments might roll in. I don't know. Hopefully not. I mean, I can only hope. But it's been all good so far, and it's just been fun front to back, because riding is fun. Groms are one of the most fun motorcycles you can have. The recording aspect's fun because it's just kind of exciting. The editing I find to be fun and just super satisfying, just kind of seeing what you can create with super basic rudimentary editing skills. And then on the back end also, just all the conversations with interesting people that I've had that are into bikes as well. And just watching something that you create grow slowly over time is just, I don't know, it's super fun to me. Yo, Yamaha VMAX. My dad used to have a VMAX. That's a bad bike. That's a bad bike. That's awesome. I don't even know if they still make the VMAX. Dang. That's exciting. That's cool. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Hey, that goes back to the motovlogging thing. If my dad would have had some videos of him on his VMAX, that would have been awesome, because man, I loved that motorcycle when I was a kid. But yeah, anyways, if you like Honda motorcycles, motovlogs in general, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, all the regular stuff. I'd really appreciate it, and I plan on continuing to make more content, mostly Grom focused, but I've got 2 other Honda motorcycles as well that I think I'm going to start slowly incorporating in. Anyways, thanks everybody out there, ride safe, and see ya.